Hello and welcome to another episode of What Do People Do podcast. It's 2024. It's the 4th of January. My name's Leo.
I'm Eddie.
And today you might have noticed, if you're a regular viewer, that we haven't got our third guest or host with us, Charlie Golson.
Where's Charlie?
So Charlie's moving house. So exciting times for him, but it has meant that he hasn't really got time to do this today, but he'll be back. So don't you guys worry. I think as everyone does in the new year, I think it's a good time to sit back and reflect on last year and work out what we're going to do differently this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the first thing you might notice is we're actually sat on the sofa instead of on the table today. That's the first difference.
Took a lot of planning that.
Yeah.
I think we discussed it about 2 months ago. No, it was a quick last minute change of things, but Leo just wanted to show off his new blue sofa. Yeah. It's not new. He's had about 2 years, but it's nice. We'll give him it.
The first thing I want to ask you, mate, is you have a nice Christmas?
I did have a nice Christmas, mate. Yeah, it was really nice. Feel quite fortunate. Got a good family. It's quite a lot of us. So 16 around the table is quite a big Christmas from what I've heard. So yeah, it's good. I
find it hard with Christmas. Good. I think with Christmas, it's one of them where December, it's cold, it's dark outside. Everyone's like, oh, it's a bit miserable, but at least I've got Christmas to look forward to.
I love it.
But then the thing is with Christmas, it comes around and happens so fast, and then it's gone, and it's like all that expectation you had for that one day, and then suddenly it's
No, because you get the build up, and then you got Boxing Day afterwards. Boxing Day is my favourite day. I think I prefer Boxing Day to Christmas because
quite a festive man.
Leftover food is mint.
Tell me about it.
That ham on Boxing Day,
mate. My dad did this like turkey club sandwiches with like the turkey instead of chicken, bacon, egg, cheese.
What's your favourite bit on the turkey?
You know what? Controversial. I just like the breast. I just like the meat.
You like the breast?
Yeah.
I like the leg, mate.
Yeah.
The nice brown meat. Oh
mate, we had this big bowl of sprouts and pigs in blankets. It was just like a Christmas person's dream, I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
But enough about Christmas. I think what we wanted to do today and talk about in this podcast was about, I think, that feeling everyone has. It turns New Year. You might have a little kiss on at 12 o'clock if you're lucky enough. You might not. And then suddenly it's like, right, it's January. What the hell am I going to do now? And I think me and Eddie have just had a chat before we started. I'm quite the opposite to him in terms of I like to plan out my year and have these goals and set these goals. And I know some people might not be as regimented as that, or they might prefer just to go with the flow.
I'm quite different. I'm not as regimented. I think I just take things as they come.
Yeah.
So I find it quite difficult to plan ahead and plan in the future. I'm probably more of a reactive sort of person than I am to a sort of a proactive person.
I think there's benefits to both, isn't there? I think being someone who's quite spontaneous and happy to kind of go along with things, and just you don't get stressed out as much, I feel like, because you're never actually expecting anything to go right or wrong.
Yeah, I rarely get stressed.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling, mate.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then there's the opposite person like myself who kind of sat down on the 1st of January and was like, right, how am I going to better myself this year? What can I do? What ways can I change, I guess, or what can I do more of or less of to make me feel better by the end of the next year?
Question though, why is that something you think of on New Year?
I know that's why I find it interesting.
Why is it? Because it's like the turn of a new leaf or a new chapter. But in reality, is it or is it just another day?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like what we should do as humans, instead of just wait till the 1st of January, is kind of, if you feel that weird like flush of motivation, just do it then. Don't wait until the next calendar year to do something.
Any business savvy person or entrepreneur would start laughing at that comment.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "What are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, just do it 2-3 months.
I'm the worst as well because I've just got back into the gym this week and I haven't been going for 4 months.
He's one of those January.
Oh mate, that's me down to a T.
Idiots.
There's that guy put a story on like the December 25th, like, the people that are coming in January are going to ruin this gym.
I'll give you till March,
mate. Let's shake on it because I think I'm going to go for longer this year.
March.
My plan is to be more. I guess everyone says this, to be more disciplined this year, but
I'm going to make him go red.
I think
Leo's physique is pretty damn gorgeous.
I'm genetically gifted in terms of I don't have to go gym really, and I'll stay skinny.
He's not even subtle about it. He knows it. He knows it.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
He just needs to work at it. And do you know what, man? I think an Instagram page by the end of the year is pending.
No, I'm not one of them. I couldn't do a fitness page. I'll do a golf page, but not a fitness page.
Yeah, I'll do a golf page.
I think what I wanted to start off with is talk about kind of our goals. And I think everyone who's watching or listening might be in a similar situation where they've set some, it might even be like just stop eating crisps or just stop eating something as much. And there's other people that will write down like to the T, like this is what I'm going to do on Mondays, this is what I'm going to do on Tuesdays. I think what I'll do is I'll share my goals. I've got them written down here. But I think for me, I've split it down into four things: health, finance, work, and then kind of intellect. And for me, like health-wise, I think it's important to maintain kind of physical and mental health. So I've put down on mine to kind of include gym, running, yoga. They're my main three things that I enjoy doing. I think it's important to do something that you enjoy as well. It's no point saying I'm going to get into swimming if you hate swimming, because you'll just fail.
You'll never keep it up.
But if it's something you get a slight bit of satisfaction from, then at least you'll kind of stick at it because you have a reason to do it.
Yeah, I guess that is the importance of setting at least some small goals. Because if you're doing something that you let's say you were to start swimming, but you didn't really enjoy it, there may be a side to you that starts to enjoy it if you set yourself some goals.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you can only swim 6 lengths, if after 2 weeks you've got to 10 and you think, oh, next week I'll try and get to 20, then you probably would get some enjoyment from that.
Yeah.
But fitness is hard.
Yeah, I think
I've struggled with it.
I think even people that are like do it day in, day out and are like fitness influencers and do it on Instagram and that's how they make their money. Even they have days where they just can't be bothered, even though they know they're making money from it.
One of my goals that I set 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
No. I've done it.
Oh, I've done it.
I've done it. Yeah, I said it 2 years ago. It was to run a half marathon. I did the half marathon and I've not run a day since because I hated it that much.
But that's the thing. If you set a goal and you achieve it, I feel like that's what people do when they do a marathon. That's kind of like the pinnacle, unless you do like an ultra marathon. It's like that's the pinnacle of running, really doing a marathon. And once you've done that, it's like, do I just keep doing marathons now, or do I just move on to a different sport?
You've got your goals written out, Leo.
Yeah.
Do you find having it sort of physically in front of you and written out in front of you helps?
Yeah, I was stressing out. I was sat down at work the other day just before the new year, and I was like, I need to write them down. I've not written them down yet, and it's kind of getting to me because like. I was like, I don't want to forget my goals.
Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to like think of something like, I'd say another one was work, was to maybe kind of give everything 100%, maybe find something new in the new year. And it's like, if I don't write that down, I might forget that was one of my goals.
I guess I should probably start doing that because.
But I don't think.
But when I think of a goal, I'll forget it by next week. Or like if I find something that I like or online that I want to buy.
Yeah.
Or someone asked me, it's my birthday coming up, I want something.
Yeah.
I should write it down. Because I don't write it down, it's not physically in front of me. By the time it comes to it, I'm like, what did I want?
Yeah,
it's the same with goals, I think.
It's so important, and I think, especially now, like we're getting to an age where I'm 25 on Saturday, so scary, halfway to 50.
Yeah. When you say it like that, that's not very nice.
Yeah. And I always see them videos where it's like, you've got 52 weeks in a year. If you look at this graph here, that's 90 years. And if you live 90 years, this is how many weeks you have. And it looks tiny, doesn't it, on the screen? And I just think, why? I don't know if I'm just one of them people that's looks at that and like, that's not very much. Other people probably look at it and go, that's quite a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm quite different in that aspect.
So I think that's a lot.
Yeah, I do. I think how long it's taken you to get to 25 years old.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like even uni, where we always joke around, oh my God, it was only that long ago. But 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It does feel like it goes faster. And people say time goes faster as you get older as well. So
I think, and then another goal for me, if we're looking at health, kind of finance, intellect was a big one for me. I really feel like I spend a lot of my time just mindlessly scrolling on TikTok or watching YouTube videos that don't really kind of benefit or level me up in a sense in terms of intellect. So I like to be always reading a book is what I've put down. So whether that's kind of once a week, just reading a few pages, but it just meant that there's never a time if I finish a book that I'm not reading a book.
Yeah, Charlie's got a good goal, and he.
Oh yeah, I saw on his TikTok.
Yeah,
I saw on his TikTok all the books that he read last year and all the ones he wants to read. It looks quite interesting.
Yeah,
I think if you physically post that online, you kind of have to keep yourself accountable.
Charlie, we're watching, mate. We are watching.
You've got to be accountable, Chaz. If you haven't read all of those books by the end of the year, mate, I don't know what's going to happen to you, mate.
You're in trouble.
But what I wanted to talk about is that does setting goals really make a difference? Like someone like you who said you haven't really set any, and someone like me, will we both get to this point next year on the
and be in the same
4th of January and be like, did I achieve more than you? Did you achieve more than me? Or were we in the same boat?
Yeah, but I think it doesn't really matter because people go about achieving things differently. So your structure and your thought process behind achieving something might be more, I don't know the word for it, when you have to visualize it, you have to see it.
Yeah.
It has to be on paper in front of you, and that's how you maybe structure your life a bit more. You are quite regimented in the way you do things. You've got an addictive personality. So to be fair, when you set yourself to something, if you enjoy it, you will really, really go hard at it.
Yeah.
With me, I find, as we said earlier, I kind of just go with the flow a little bit, and I want to be successful. I wish in some aspects of my life I should probably try it a bit more. I mean, my work, I really enjoy my work, but sometimes I feel like I'm slightly not really getting the gratitude, sort of the satisfaction I want from it. So I feel like I need to, this year, if one of my goals is probably to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at least you've been honest with yourself. I think a lot of people will have that feeling that you feel and just kind of keep coasting until something happens and they're expecting something else to happen.
Because I've got something inside me to just that's saying, on one side, I could just work with what I've got and work my way up where I am, or I'm currently in a position where, although we just said, we feel like we're getting on a bit, we are still at an age where responsibilities are
minimal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not married. I haven't got kids. I rent a place. I'm not down on a mortgage. Like I haven't got that many responsibilities. So if I want to make a change, it's never too late, but I'm in a situation at the moment where it's probably easier to do that now.
No, I agree.
So I think I probably just don't want to settle in what I'm doing now if I'm not really getting what it.
Well, I think one of our collective goals last year was to set up and start a podcast, and let's give ourselves a little round of applause because it's been a year. Thanks, guys. It's been a year since we started. It was last January when we came up with the idea, and we kind of sat down and thought, you know what, let's be podcasters. Why not?
More than that.
I think it was December, but we didn't start until January last year, though. And so 52 weeks have gone by, and now instead of sitting on the table, we're sat on the sofa. So we're getting a bit more comfortable with it. Yeah. Still feels a bit weird to us. I think every time you sit down and there's a camera recording you and there's no one behind it physically.
I find it hard without a guest.
Yeah, I think
having to think on the spot, at least I'm interested in people. So when I've got someone in front of me to speak to and just quiz on, I will do that.
Well, I was reading a thing.
I find it hard to just come up with things to talk about.
I think a lot of podcasts that focus just on interviews purely relying on guests often fail quite quickly because they realise once they've gone through their mates and their mates' it's like, now what? Whereas I think if we can find something between us three and manage it in a way where we're happy to sit down and have a conversation and we enjoy it and people enjoy it, then I think it's definitely something that I'd really love to kind of go really hard on this year. I've said to myself, I'd love to record an episode every week so that I've got enough, even if we're all away, to keep posting and keep the content coming. I know me and you have started a YouTube channel.
We haven't yet.
No, but we've started filming the content. We've been making golf videos.
We blame the weather for the lack of posts so far.
Me and Eddie are big into our golf. Charlie was, but he's kind of faded off it a little bit. He's a good player as well when he wants to be.
He's cleared out his room from our flat completely, and the only thing left are golf clubs.
Is it?
He hates his golf clubs that much.
With Charlie, he's good at it, but he just doesn't have the love that me and Eddie have for it. And I think it's a shame because he is good at it.
He is good. Yeah. Charlie, you could be very good, my friend.
And anyway, me and Eddie are trying to kind of go hard on the content there as well. And I just think 2024, there's no excuse for me really. And I don't know about Eddie, but I feel like I've got so much passion for it and so much I get so much enjoyment from filming these podcasts and recording this and doing the golf videos. I just think, why don't I just like put my all into it and just do it as much as I can?
You should never have stopped on TikTok, mate.
I know. I mean, I'm going to try and upload a bit more on TikTok as well this year, but
it's basically a golf channel now.
Yeah, it will be.
It's predominantly.
It will be
golf.
Definitely. Our goal is to get a little program at Wentworth. Try and see how far we can get with that. And I think there's a gap in the market. There's a gap in the market for because it's so up and coming still. I don't think it's peaked at all. And if we find a way of doing it,
yeah. Well, Rick Shields said that it's literally only just taken off.
Yeah,
like, there is so much room left in the golf space.
We just need to work out our way of doing it.
Yeah. There'll be professional golf tournaments with just YouTubers competing.
Yeah, they've already talked about it loads.
Yeah. Be crazy.
A quick question for you, Eddie. You can ask me as well. What would you like to say you've done or you can do this time next year that you can't do right now?
What have I done?
Like, what would you like if we sat down here 2025 4th of Jan and I've been like, what can you do now that you couldn't do last year? What would it be? Or is there anything you've got your eye on, particularly, again, like you said, you're just someone who just keeps going?
I don't know about what would I want to be able to do.
Or say you've done. Like, what do you want to do this year? If I said plan your perfect year,
a new job,
just a new job.
New job. Yeah.
Do you know what?
With a new job will come new skills and things that I'll be able to do that I won't be able to do now.
Yeah.
What
you've got any ideas?
Yeah, I have got some ideas. Yeah.
Can you tell us?
No.
Oh.
I'm keeping it on a down.
I'm sure whatever you do, you'll be really good at.
Yeah. It's I've got ideas. But I don't know. I feel like at the moment I've said too much in the last year where I've said something and I've not done it. So I want to just keep it to a point where I'll say it once I've done it.
I think I'm the same position you.
It's nothing mysterious. It's just I say things and not follow up on it sometimes.
I think there's a lot of people our age, right, who's like between 23 and 26, 27, who've probably been in a job since they graduated or since they've left school, maybe anywhere between 3 to 6 years. And they're at the point now where they're like, do I leave now or will I stay here for the rest of kind of my life? And I think me and you are both in that situation where we've been in our job as a fair amount of time, 3 years, and we're now at the point like, do we just move on from that?
Yeah. What about you?
I'd like to say that I regularly did all the podcasts and regularly done some golf videos, and I'm at the point where.
But the same question applies to you. Like, what do you want to be able to say that you can do this time next year that you can't do now?
Ooh.
Because it's almost like a skill-based question, that, isn't it? Like, what do you want to have that you don't have now?
I want to feel more competent in I want to level up in content creation, definitely. I want to feel like I could produce a podcast to a higher standard, find ways of editing easier, be more efficient in what I do.
I think that's one of the biggest banes for me about this and content creation is I don't actually think I realised how, even just to make a TikTok,
it's a lot of hours.
It's so frustrating.
I feel like credit to people that have a full-time job and have a side hustle of content creation, because the time you have to spend doing all the editing and all the social media and stuff. That's why obviously as soon as people can afford to, they outsource it, because they know how much time it takes and people are willing to pay good money to let someone else do it. Yeah,
and they'll probably do a better job as well.
Do
you not think?
Yeah, for sure. The next question I've got for you, and I guess for people watching and listening, is what would the perfect 2024 look like for you? Would you have a certain amount of holidays? Would you learn a certain skill? Or is there anything that would be amazing to happen this year?
I'd like to think that by the end of 2024, have progressed my relationships, whether it be with my girlfriend or my friends. Alana, nice. Don't get any ideas from that.
His girlfriend thinks he's proposing now.
But yeah, just develop my relationship with my friends. I'd like to be able to say at the end of 24 that we filmed more podcast episodes.
Yeah.
I think we've got some interesting guests lined up.
Oh yeah, stay tuned for them.
That will be really interesting to sort of get the insight.
I'm just keen to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep speaking to people and just learn so much.
Yeah. What's going on?
I think my laptop's just, because the screen's been on for a while, it's just doing that. I think it's still recording. We'll keep going. We've not got long left for the podcast, so don't you guys worry if you're bored.
If you're even here anymore.
I wanted to just quickly discuss, like, how do you achieve things if they seem so unrealistic? Like we say, we want to play golf at Wentworth. Like, it's one of them things, isn't it, where it has to be small steps. It doesn't just come overnight.
Well, yeah. First of all, we've got to have a fan base.
No, but I mean, before that, you need to create content that you enjoy, because you just stop doing it if you don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You've got to have a good foundation, haven't you? You've got to enjoy it before it goes out, like, to the big crowds. Like, you're not going to get anywhere, I don't think, unless you enjoy it.
No, of course.
I think if you enjoy it, then you'll want to do it more consistently, and then your fan base and your subscribers and things like that will just come with being sort of consistent. Yeah,
consistency is the key, and I think a lot of people say that is, if you upload a YouTube video once a week for 2 years, no matter kind of, I mean, obviously it has to be a certain standard, but then you'll start to see people kind of.
I think the only difficult thing is you can be consistent with videos, but unless you advertise it the right way, it's not really going to go anywhere, because there are people in the doing exactly the same thing as you, that it might not be as good, but because they create more TikToks or create more shorts, or they advertise it better, they'll do better than you. So I guess it is that I think you've got to produce the content as well as just the long form videos, the short form videos and things like that. Have got to be repetitive.
You know how they say, like, if there's someone you look up to, and you want to be them, or you want to do what they do, they kind of say, well, just start behaving like them and start doing the things that they're doing, and so kind of trick yourself into becoming the person that they are. Is there anyone that you look at the moment or look up to, whether it's friends or family or celebrities, where you go, that's someone that I'd like to be, or they're in a position that I'd love to be in?
Yeah, I'd say that I wouldn't want to be. I mean, I'd obviously love to be in the position that he was in, but someone that I look up to actually is probably my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
he's just like the most productive guy I've ever met in my life. Like, he never looks busy, but he's always doing something. Like, if he has 10 minutes, he's doing something. Like, he's got about 3 different jobs. He's also studying a full-time degree in engineering, and he's also an Ironman athlete. So 3 jobs. He's also a golfer. He plays golf, so that's time-consuming as well. 3 jobs, training to be an Ironman, also doing a university degree at the same time. That's crazy. Like, he's always busy. Like, but he doesn't look it, and he still finds time to do things with other people.
Well, that's why we started this show, because if we spoke to him and, like, sat down and go, how'd you do it, mate? He could tell us, and then we could take the bits of his life that we think kind of we could attribute to our lives and I guess improve our lives in a way. I think it's hard.
What about you? It's the same question back to you.
If I looked at someone,
whether it be family, someone you know,
I think having, like, creative freedom in terms of a job, whether that be something on the internet or something that isn't on the internet, where every day you go in and you kind of thinking of ideas and kind of producing something yourself. I feel like I'd love that. But at the moment, my job is, because it's through the NHS, it's kind of very regimented. You go in and there's procedures, and
your protocols to follow.
You've got bosses, you've got trust values, you've got all the stuff that you have to follow. And I'm not saying that's bad, and I kind of like having rules. But I also feel like there's something really nice about you being the one that leads it, and you being the one, not necessarily being self-employed. I could do it for someone else, but just having the ability to be a bit more creative. And I think that will come with time, and I think that's why I'm starting all this. I mean, I know we've been doing it for a year now, but I feel like last year was just like, we just felt like we were getting started, and this year I just want to push on. And I know it might not be tomorrow or the day after or in a year or 2 years' time when we start to see kind of the benefits of doing this, but like just speaking with people. And I've just said to you, like, I want to sit down, I want to be the one that messages guests, get them on, I want to kind of create insightful conversations. and just learn as much as I can. And I feel like that's so good for my mental health.
If we were to really try, not that we haven't already, but
we could go 10 times faster.
Yeah, I think we have the potential to get really like a lot more interesting guests on. I think what's that rule? You're only five people away from anyone in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. And we know between us quite a lot of people. So, and a lot of them are really interesting. So,
and we've got platforms like Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn that we can reach out to people. And obviously we get one guest on and then they introduce us to someone and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's what networking is, isn't it? Yeah. This is basically a networking podcast.
Yeah. You want to come on?
Yeah. If anyone listening, as we always say, or watching wants to come on, we'd love to have you on. We've got 2 very interesting guests lined up for January, and then we've got a few more in February already. So, I mean, just reach out to us. We'd love to kind of have you on. It's really, really enjoying and
really enjoying.
Sorry, I was mixing enjoyful and whatever. But I think what I want from this is for it to be something where we learn a lot and kind of make it funny. I think we can.
I think that's my biggest thing from it is I love to listen to guests and see how they differ to myself.
Yeah.
And see what makes them
for sure
and what got them to where they are.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest thing from this is just taking out from it what ideas people had in their heads and what their thoughts are and how they sort of regimented their life, how they structured their goals. It'll be interesting, actually. We should probably take this conversation into our guests.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, ask them, what are your goals this year?
Yeah.
Did you set goals this year? I bet you most of the people that we speak to will probably say, yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like as humans, we have to, because it gives us that motivation and it gives us something to be accountable for. And it's so easy to fall into like bad habits in terms of just eating unhealthy or just being a bit lazier in terms of health and fitness, I guess, or even just like not looking after ourselves, mental health, just kind of being a bit like lazy in terms of tidying the house and those kind of things. There's at least something that everyone, I reckon, will want to improve on. Yeah. And I feel like as humans, we are those creatures that just want to keep improving and keep bettering ourselves. And I think it's good to learn from everyone because we've all got different opinions. Like you say, you haven't set goals, I have set goals. Doesn't make us any different in terms of what we're going to achieve next year. You might achieve something that you never thought was possible. I might achieve nothing. Just because I've written mine down doesn't make a difference.
No.
I'd like to finish off this podcast by asking you what your favourite day of 2023 was, because it's easy for us to set goals now, but if we look back at 2023, is there any moment or anything where you were like, this is cool?
My favourite day of 2023. Wow.
I think for me, if I go first,
there's 56 days to choose from.
Is there? 365 in it?
365.
No, it's a leap year this year. There's no 20. There's a 29th of February.
Is there?
Yeah.
So 366.
66, yeah. So there's an extra day.
I swear it's 356.
Nah, come on,
365.
365.
365. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, for me, my favourite day of the year was probably your birthday when we went to play at the Grove, and just like turning up, seeing Jermaine Genius as we walked on. And
I can't say that was a highlight of mine.
Yeah, you're not
seeing Jermaine Genius.
No, not just seeing him playing the golf course.
I'd probably have to say.
I feel like holidays are good.
One of the days in Bansko. Do you know what?
Oh, the
relief I got from when we were skiing in Bansko, we turned up thinking this is going to be the worst ski holiday ever because there was no snow. That relief
when it snowed
all night and it was just like the most picturesque place ever. And
best feeling.
Fresh powder. Yes. I think that was probably my best day because the sheer relief, spending all that money to go on a ski holiday and having to do mountain biking because it's basically sunny. We got the 1 week of the year that was great. So that was my best week of the year.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, guys, for listening and watching if you're on YouTube. As always, leave us a follow on whatever platform you're watching. We really, really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, leave us a subscription. And
we've got some good guests coming up.
Yeah, keep stay tuned for this year because big things to come, hopefully. Leave any comments. If you want to come on, always contact us. We're happy to have anyone on really who's keen to do it. Leave a like if you would. That'd be really appreciated. And yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next episode.
See you later.
Bye.